Well, the end game is it's not going to stop with the North American Union. It's going to be one further step along the road to one world government. Already, as we speak, the nations of Africa are contemplating an African Union. In fact, they made a fairly large step forward in 2007 with a summit.
Speaking at the event, Ambassador Saeed Djinnit, AU Commissioner for Peace and Security, called the launch an historic moment in the partnership between the US and the AU. He said the African Union is determined to pursue the path of continental integration with the support of its partners.
Of course, we already have the European Union. A similar movement is afoot in Southeast Asia and also South America. So once you have North American Union, that'll merge with the European Union, that'll eventually merge with Africa. So these 4, 5, 6 major trading blocs will all come together as one world government. As part of that, I think we'll see a total annihilation of individual rights, privacy. We'll be treated like cattle. Mass inoculations against our will, we're already starting to see that, certainly in the United States over the last couple of years.
More than 2,000 Prince George's County students have not gotten their state-mandated shots. Tonight, an ultimatum to some of those parents: come to court, get the shots, or else. Fox 5's Sherry Lee live in Forestville to explain this one. Sherry?
Laura, some students here in Prince George's County schools have missed up to a month and a half of school because they have not gotten their vaccinations for chickenpox and hepatitis B. Now the school system says it's time to get tough and take those parents to court. This Saturday, more than 1,600 students and their parents have been ordered to appear in circuit court for the children to be immunized. Health workers will be on hand to give the shots immediately.
We can do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way, but it's going to have to get done.
The problem is a new law that took effect last year, requiring students in the 5th through 10th grades to also have the chickenpox and hepatitis B vaccine. Parents who don't show up in court and who don't comply could end up fined or in jail.
No girl may enter the 6th grade unless she has been immunized against certain sexually transmitted infections. In the Third Reich, maybe. In the United States of America, that's absurd.
And I believe that there will be a depopulation program as part of this. It's very difficult to control 6.5 billion people. And also, of course, these elite groups are very concerned about the depletion of resources, and not for mankind's sake, but for their own. North American Union may sound as if it has some benefits initially. Who on the surface could argue about a free movement of labor anywhere you want to go in North America, or greater mobility of goods and capital, etc. But it's just one step, one incremental step on the road to what's going to be a virtual prison planet. Placing the frog in a pot of cool water where the frog is very comfortable, and you gradually turn up the heat so that you don't, the change in heat is imperceptible until, of course, the pot is boiling, and then it's too late to do anything about it. That's what's happening now. So gradually, step by step, and gradualism is a process that Karl Marx talked about. This is right out of the Communist Manifesto. That if you move in baby steps, they're imperceptible. People simply don't take notice. The road to North American Union is not a new development. Probably it kicked into high gear in about 1965 with the creation of the Council on the Americas, and David Rockefeller was the founder of that. And there was a meeting down in Central America between, it would have been then Prime Minister Lester B. Pearson and Lyndon Johnson, and they discussed all of these things that we're seeing now. They discussed the creation of one North American market, one North American currency. So here we are, 45 years later, and these elite groups tend to think in 50, 75, 100-year plans. Of course, we had the Auto Pact, came out of about 1965, 1966. Then we had NAFTA. Now, of course, we're heading into the North American Union. People are slowly beginning to wake up to the fact that the Fourth Estate has simply not done their job with regards to North American Union or 9/11 or any of the other significant events that have occurred over the last 15, 20 years, probably even further back. People are waking up. They're not getting the truth from the Fourth Estate. The mainstream media will deliberately lie to you. They will distract you from the truth. But while they're still around, while there are still daily newspapers and newsrooms in radio and television, let them know, call them, write to them, tell them that you know about the North American Union and you're not happy about it and you want them to start doing their job. Scream bloody murder. Every time an election comes around and someone comes to your door handing out pamphlets, invite him inside and tell him what you know and ask him what he's going to do about it or she's going to do about it as an elected representative. They have to know that we know. They have to know that we're not going to stand for it. We're in a very tumultuous time. It's going to be a very painful transition. But I'm hopeful that on the other side, when the dust settles, a lot of these institutions that were once looked up to, they won't be around anymore. And we're going to have to build this thing from the ground up. And maybe I'm naive, but I think it's going to afford us a rare opportunity for more freedom of expression and more freedom of information. It may initially start out with small groups like this and in church basements, but that's how the most important movements have always started. So I look forward with a great deal of trepidation, but also a great deal of enthusiasm and optimism.